you ever felt.
Are you listening?
Will be. But one thing life it's about is it is what you make be that becomes. All right. And what are the tools to enabling you making what you can make be to become? At the end of the day, you discover that your life is centered around the pivotals. So on this map, there are a segment called pivotals. Okay. Now on this pivotals, you discover that this is what our life is basically centered on. It's centered on our perspective and our personalities, on our plans, on our potentials, on people, on the principles that governs our lives, on the places we are in now or where we hope to go to, the platforms that we find expressions, the provisions that we have around us in terms of resources, whether people, financial or whatever, or network. And of course, it also talks about processes. It is you could have every other thing working for you, but you don't have a proper process to enable what you're looking for. And the one that really hit me recently is what I call protocols. Protocols. So the goal today is when you download this canvas, for those who have downloaded it, what I need you to do is I want us to read this mantra part of it together and read it out loud to yourself. The beautiful thing about this canvas is when you have the time, you can complete it, then download it and print it out and stick it somewhere in the corners of your room so that you constantly remind yourself of where you are going to. All right. Now, remember, it is absolutely wrong for you to want to live life, outside purpose. You cannot live a life outside purpose. So the fact that you came into 2022 shouldn't just look like, oh, it's the norm. So what is the purpose statement driving you in this new year? With your camera or your phone, whatever you're going to use to capture the year. All right. And I look at this camera lens, not just as a camera, but the vision. What is the purpose statement for your life in 2022? What is that one block of statement that encapsulates and defines the purpose of your existence for 2022? All right. So we're going to begin here to understand that we will feel that part, but I want us to read this part together that says my mantra. It says, my life can be colorful. My life can be beautiful. It is my life, and I will live it to the fullest. I want us to read that out again. My life can be colorful. My life can be beautiful. It is my life. I will live it to the fullest. So let me touch on the word can be, because it tells you the potential that you have. You have everything to be the very best that you can be. They're all deposited in you. All right. So you have everything to be the best that you can be. Are you with me? So your life, my life can be colorful. My life can be beautiful. It is my life, and I will live it to the fullest. Now, the big question is, what can make me have a colorful life? What are those things? What are the peaks? At what stage of my life can I really say I am having the colorful life that I desired? Now, that is what you will be inserting on the box called my peaks. So at what stage would you get to in 2022 and say, yes, this is the color of the life that I dreamt of for the year 2022? So if you have your canvas now, for those who have downloaded it, please click on insert your text here and pin down one or two things. You don't have to do all of it now, but I'm painting a picture right now. What is it in my life that when I reach that space or that place or that height, that can truly tell me that this is the color of life, or this is the colorful life that I've always wanted for the year 2022. Remember, we are discussing clarity lens canvas. I am about to capture 2022 on a lens, and I'm focusing on my goals, okay? And while focusing on my goal, I am constantly adjusting things around me, things that I'm saying, So there are obstacles, there are things I don't want to see, there are things that I must consciously blow out so that at the end of the day, I can have a colorful 2022. So my life can be colorful because the potential to have a colorful life is all within me. It's there. It's in me, it's around me, and I can make the best of it. So I'm asking you again, as you go to the segment that says insert your first year for my peaks, what are the things that when I reach this peak, I will have a colorful life and I'll have a beautiful life? The only reason why I did not define what colorful is or beauty is because this definition are all relative to every individual. Are you understanding me? Because what is colorful to me might not be to you. What is beautiful to me might not be to you. All right. So I need you to take your time right now and ask yourself the question, what can make my life colorful? What can make my life colorful? What can make my life beautiful? All right. All right. And for those of you who do not have a canvas, all right, it is important that you can perhaps take a paper on your side, and as you're looking at this pivot house, recreate it on your own. If you can draw it this way, you don't have to draw it this way, just draw the boxes, okay, on a piece of paper and work from there, all right, so that we can do these things together, all right. So quickly, if you're already inserting that, because I'm going to jump now. I am going to jump now. What can make my life colorful? What can make my life beautiful? All right. All right. What can make my life colorful? What can make my life beautiful? What can make my life colorful? What are the things in my life that if I reach these heights, those are my peaks? Or for some of us, it's, if I'm able to buy myself the dream house, or if I'm able to bag myself that dream position. For some of us, it's, if I make $1 million, then I have a colorful life. You know what you're looking for. For some of us, if we enter a billionaire status. For some of us, if I'm able to help 10 children go to school in 2022, or even one child that is not my biological child, but I help one child go to school in 2022, I would have lived a colorful life for 2022. So you are the one who can tell indeed what color means to you, what having a beautiful color of life is. So those are your peaks. So you can have 1, 2, 3, 4. What are the peaks? Remember, my life can be colorful. My life can be beautiful. Now, there was a reason why I personalized every segment of this canvas. There's a reason why every segment of this canvas are personalized. I could have said your life. It is my life. All right. So it is my life. And you and I understand that we are responsible for the products that we produce out of it, for what we make out of the factory called mind that we have. So when Zazie started a section to teach us about the goal setting and the go-getters mindset, if you don't have the right mindset, definitely the kind of product you will chunk out of your factory called your mindset will be a flawed type. So these are your personal decisions to make, but you've got to think it through, to ask yourself. Remember, the word is can be. So don't stay limited to what you've always known. What are the peaks? What are those heights that if everything you wanted worked for you, this is where you want to be, right? There are some of us, sometimes when we go for shopping, car shopping, we go with the mindset, if I had money, I wanted to buy a Mercedes Benz or a Range Rover, but because this is what I had. And so this is what I'll go shop for. Now, in the world of imagination, there's no limitation. If I ask you to imagine having a conversation with Cyril Ramaphosa now, there's no barrier, there's no protocol stopping you. So think with that same consciousness and ask yourself, what can I be? Now, if you've done all of that, I needed to insert those tests in there. Please feel free to call my attention if you have questions for any clarity or me giving you further explanation, okay? So let's begin with the very first pivot. It's called perspective and personalities. So perspective or personality and perspectives. What are the drivers of your personality? Now, a lot of us, those of us who have studied emotional intelligence, we talk about personality types and all of it. Now, we both know those things, those traits of personality types have got their pluses and their minuses. They've got their strengths and their weaknesses. All right. So on the green part, you see the part that has the green check box. I need you to write the positive things that you have. What are my positive personality? All right. And remember, we started to say, if you're going to take a photo shoot right now, a photograph, and you focus your camera on a background. Now, when you find things that are not what you want in the picture, what do? Can someone talk to me? What do? So if I was to take a picture and there are things I'm seeing in the background and I don't want them to be part of what I am doing, what do?
Edit the picture.
No, I've not taken the picture yet. I'm saying I'm about to take a shot. All right? I take it out. That's the word. You take it out. You take it out because it's not done yet. And you have the right because you can make it right. So on this aspect that says that are cancelled, the red dots that says negative, the things you want taken out of your personality in 2022. I'm sure you have friends. You have people who love you enough, who tell you this thing you are doing is not good. This character of yours is not good. This personality of yours, this way of thinking of yours is not good. All right? Those are the things that must not be in the shot that you're about to take. So I need you to look at it and list those things. Some of us, we just sleep too much. We just Netflix too much. And they are fun things to do. But when they get into the excessive, then there's trouble. All right? So some of us, we've got strong personality type. Some of us, we have a personality that is not, it doesn't really necessarily, the only time we are happy. I mean, my wife taught me something this morning, and she was talking about being abrasive, right? If I got the word correctly. How the only way some people find confidence is in talking down on others. All right. Now, that is not a good personality type to have to be a winner for 2022. Okay. So what I need you to do is take this canvas right now. You know what you're going to insert on the good parts. What are the good things I'm doing? What have people pointed me to say, oh, this thing is good. Keep it up. All right. So that is one. Then the next thing. The next thing is the plans. Hello, the plans. And I will touch on various type of people. I believe part of our audience today, we've got those who are very Christian-y, very religious, very spiritual, and will love to pray. Now, but you see, prayer is not a plan. And prophecy is not a plan. Even saying amen to a pastor's decree is still not a plan. Now, because even the Bible told us in Proverbs 16:3, bring your plans. So God is saying, you bring your plan to him, then he will make it happen. So you could have been prayed for, prophesied upon, laid hand on, laid legs on. All right. If you don't put a plan to the prayer, to the prophecy, you're going to end 2022 the same way you entered or was off. Hello? Because a lot of us go by every year, and when we say, okay, it's a new year, the churches will tell us to bring prayer points. Some will tell us to bring goals. Some of us position our prayer request like it's a plan or it's a goal. It's not a goal, it's a request. Goals are what you are aiming to attain and achieve. Prayer requests are what you are hoping God to do for you. So On the plus part, what are the plans that you have? The plans is not the goal. Hello? The goal to build a house should have a plan on how you want to build a house. So if you're planning to buy, if the goal this year is to own a property for business, a commercial property, the big question is, that is the goal. What is the plan that is going to fuel the accomplishment of that goal? Are you saying that your goal is not your plan? You have a goal, is the target. How do you score that target is the plan. So you have to be, if I use football as a case study, if you're going to win and score goals and put the ball into the net with your leg, that's where principles comes in now. So you cannot go and throw the ball in with your hand into the net. As long as it is called football, soccer, it will be counted against you as a foul. All right. So what is key is I've got plans. I've got plans to attain. I've got goals, and the plan is, for me to buy properties this year, I want to either build my credit or save up or work this much and do this XYZ. I need to list the plans. Now, the other side that says what you must not do. What are the plans you must not plan? Yeah, because sometimes I would give you one option. Make sure you're not planning to fail, because your failure to plan is you automatically planning to fail. So you've got to come into 2022 with a strategic plan. You cannot kickstart this year with just an adaptive mindset or mentality. Whatever will be. Or if the market switches this way, you adjust this way. If it switches this way, you adjust this way. You've got to be proactive. That's why we're having plans. That's why we're doing this kind of workshop for you. All right. The next thing is, it is one thing to have a goal. It is one thing to have a plan. But what are the potentials that I have to help me accomplish or carry out the plan? Hello? What are the potentials? What do I have? What do I have in me? Do I have the skill set? Do I have the giftings? Do I have the network? Hello? Do I have potentials? Do I have the talent, the skills? I mean, I know some of us, each time you hear potentials, you're looking for innate abilities. Hello? Time is a potential, and everybody's got it. Everybody's got time. The brain that thinks is a potential. You've got a brain, and you can think. The only challenge is, what are you thinking about when you think? What do you think about the time you think? So potential, I've got a personality that is self-driven, fantastic. I've got a personality that is a go-getter, that of a go-getter, that's fantastic. I've got a tenacious nature. I don't give up, I'm resilient, fantastic. Why? Because there is something I'm hoping to accomplish in my lifetime. Now, what plans do I have to accomplish in those things that I want to accomplish? You know, I come from a part of the country where our best song is "It Go Better, It Will Be Well." All right? It will be well. Fantastic. Yes, it's a good affirmation. It's a good affirmation to say to yourself every day. But how? What role are you going to play in making that happen? Are you with me? Now, so when I talk about potentials, what do you have? Don't look at, I can't play soccer like Messi. That's why I can't be a successful footballer. There are 1,001 footballers who don't play 1/10 of what Messi plays, and they're still playing professionally. Why? Because they've given their time to learning, to educating themselves in that environment that they have a goal target to attain it. So what are the potentials that you have? Number two, the other side now says, what don't you have? What must be removed? So because sometimes we have gifts, we have time, but we clock this time with unnecessary things that we do. All right. Now, potentials goes into even your skill set. Excuse me, some of us are educated already. You've gone to school. You have things. So positioning yourself is important. So when you're filling out this, I'm just doing an explanation to you understand what this canvas and how it looks like. Now, it is one thing to have good character, good perspective of life, and a very strong personality. And there's another great thing to ensure that the wrong things, the people who complained about you, and that you know yourself, you are dealing with it, okay? And it's good to have plans and have potentials. But nobody, and I repeat that, nobody becomes anything or anybody without the help of another. There is a statement that says people enable people to succeed. And also people enable people to fail. So who are the people in your life? Who are the positive people in your life? Who are the people who, when they come, they stir up the potentials in you? Who are the people that when they come around you, they throw you up for greatness? They challenge you. I know each time we talk about people, some of us people like to lie to us and say, you're good all the time. We're not good all the time. That's the reason why I started with personality and perspective. Some of us have a very unscrupulous, very misplaced definition of our identity. All right? So, but there are people who are either fueling it or helping us drop that wrong perspective and personality. So, who are the positive people in your life? And when I talk about positive people, the people that you are both having what we call shared value. You're adding value to their life and they're adding to your life. Every of the speaker you saw that will be speaking to you are people that I have met over time. Petros and I we've been doing BRE since 2017. This is 2022. Value. All right? Wale and I have been since 2018. Am I correct? 2018. And we've not only yes, I met Wale in church, but we've transcended that relationship from just being brother and brother in church. We've done business together. We still do business together. And we're still hoping to do businesses in the future. People enabling each other to succeed. So who are the right people in your life that you need in 2022? And don't just seek after those you need. What are you also going to be giving to them as value? I met Ian the same year, 2018, I think, or 2019. And we built this relationship. Do you understand? Myself and Ian are already doing another big project that I will talk about here. You know why? Because the relationship came with a personality who had a plan and had potential, but meeting the right people is enabling us. Are you understanding me? Now, there are also people that you do not need in your circle in 2022. Hello? There are people you know. It does not matter. It's not enmity. It's that you've got to reach your peak. You've got to build a colorful life and a beautiful life. And this certain type of this certain type of person are not yet, from what you see, from your lens view, from your camera view as you adjust it, they are not yet adding the right value to your life. And time is so short for you to want to first try to help them understand you. Then you guys start, you don't need a drainer in 2022. You need a brainer and not a drainer. I'll say that again. In year 2022, you don't need a drainer, you need a brainer. You need people, when you come up with an idea, this is what I want to do, they tell you, fantastic. Have you thought about adding this to this? Not those who say, oh, it can't work. Don't worry, pack it up. Don't worry. Not those who say to you, I don't want to make small money. I want to hit it big. Because sometimes what you are building could be that you need to build it step by step, precept upon precept, okay? And line upon lines. So when we're done discussing people, it is also important to understand that the only way your relationship with any human being will function and do good is to have a valid principle that governs your relationship. Hello? Any man whose life is not founded on principle is living a wasted life. Because what that means is anything goes. People should know you and know the certain things that you do not do and that you can do. There must be a principle that governs you. And this principle must be centered around our core values, okay? So, yes, we all have various and different moral compasses. I know that. But what is key is you must understand that principle is the greatest tool that can keep you in this earth, in the place you work. Now, because if you don't have principle, that you will take what is not yours. Because you don't have a value that says that goes against stealing. You will sleep with anybody you see. You would even sleep with anybody's wife. You will sleep with anything you see because there's no principle guiding you. You would fight. You would be lousy. You just not cultured, not nurtured. And trust me, people who are going somewhere would never want to associate with you. Am I making sense this morning? So understand that in as much as you have a good goal, in as much as you have the plans on paper, in as much as you have the potential to making it happen, in as much as you are even in the right network, the only thing that will keep you in that network is principle. Hello? Is principles. It's principles that will keep you in that environment. Am I making sense to somebody? Principles. So you've got to define what are your value, what are the principles that add value to your life? What are the things that are your core? What are the things? Because principle is what helps you set the boundaries around your life. What are the right principles that you're setting that says, these are the limits to what I can do and how I can relate. All right? Every relationship that you have with people must be defined. And they must be defined within the four walls and the boundaries of principles. Fantastic. All right? So if you're done there, you know what you must do and what you cannot do. So if the goal is to making money or becoming wealthy, becoming rich, and you wake up to say it at any means, at all costs, that is a very flawed principle. Meaning you're willing to kill just to make money or to get rich in 2022. Meaning you're willing to slander or damage another character or to make your character rise or to just for you to make money. Do you understand what I'm saying? So these are the things that will make you, at the end of the day, a better version of yourself. All right? Another thing that we must also discuss is places. Places. It is one thing to have all of this thing, but if you ask business people what made an idea or a good business or a product sell, they'll tell you location, right? Places are important in life. So the places you find yourself in 2022 are key. Now, some of us think, or some of us tend to live our life like, oh, we don't define or design the places we find ourselves. Some of us tend to make us believe that we were just fortunate to be in a place or we were unfortunate to be in a place. This brings me to the conversation that, listen, if you are going to ever find help from any human being, the things that we've touched on must have been in place. But you being in the right place is key. But how do you define the right place? I have a belief that you actually can create this right place by the principles and the people around you. You find the people. Now, if you're in the right network, there are type of conversations that you have that will mean when it's time to do certain type of work, I know who to call. Do you understand me? I know who to call because I understand that this person has this right mindset to deliver because I found this person in the right place. Now, this also brings us to a conscious decision. There are some certain places you would not find me. Not they are not good places, but they are not right places for where I'm going to. All right. Remember, our moral compasses are different. So you're going to define your places. You've got to define the type of places you want to be found in 2022. You've got to define the type of places, and you've got to understand that those places must generate for you the right value, that is an equity, that is probably the type of value that you can always withdraw from to say, okay, I have credit here because this place is each time I go there. There are type of values I earn. There's type of things I get. All right. So you on the right part that says green on places, tell yourself, you know the places you want to be. Oh, I'm going to be in workshops or in network, in environment that does XYZ. Why? Because of where I'm going. Why? Because in that place, I would find the right people as long as I govern myself with the right principle of relationship. Then my potentials will find its expression, and that will end up bringing my plans to happening because my perspectives are well defined. And you understand that me? Now, when you find yourself in places, it is important you define platforms. You can be in a place and not have a platform. Every one of us. Kickstart is gradually becoming a platform. We don't know what it's going to become in the next future, but I've discovered that every of the speakers since we started are so eager to impart, to give out. So these are free content. These are free workshops. We could have charged for it. There was a price placed on it before, but at some point I was actually advised, hey, why not impact more people than a few? Do you understand? So it is not necessarily about the money, but it is about the impact. But what are the platform of expressions that you have right now or that you would need? Some of us do businesses. Some of us do interacting with people in different sectors of life. What platform? Social media today has become not just a place, it's a platform. So some people are there looking for gossip. Some people are there making money. Some people are there trying to, slander people, but they have an ulterior motive. At the end of the day, they are gathering clouds, they are building their followership, they are making money. What are you doing there? You scroll TikTok videos for 2 hours morning, 2 hours in the day. You dedicate good 10 hours of your 24 hours on social media and you're not making money from it, then there's a problem. What are you doing with the platforms that you have around you? We live in a digital age today. You don't have a digital product you're selling on any of this platform. You don't have anything, whether it's digital, but those are interface points. Those are customer interface points. What are the platforms that you have? Some of us find ourselves in leadership position. We are so concerned about the position, we forget that it is a platform. What are you doing with the platform that you have right now? Some of us find ourselves in offices, and we are occupying lead roles. They are platforms. You know why? Because this platform exposes you. Now, you get to engage with the people that if you were not in that position, you wouldn't engage with such people. What are you doing with those platforms? How are you using them? So you got to tell yourself, list the platforms that are working for you or that you think will work for you, and list those that you think are not going to be good for you and how you are going to manage yourself around platforms. Now, I know the next stage is provision. We all get into a new year with a consciousness of, oh, money. I need money. It's not, you're not different from, I do that as well. I've sat down even in this year to say, I think the only thing I need in 2022, after all of this, is money. As long as I have resources to do ABC, I'm fine. All right? But alone, listen, some of us sit in the midst of money because it is not necessarily in our hand. You have a network. You have places where you have found yourself. There are platforms surrounding you. Money is everywhere. I have the principle. What you're looking for is always around you. The people in your life, the places you are right now, where you are right now is where you ought to be, because there are people there now. And when I mean where you ought to be, it may not necessarily look like you have attained the height you want, but it is because there are people, places, things around you that are meant to become your springboard to your next level. But if you don't understand the provisions of human resource, people, capital, money, or anything, you will miss out. So if you go about life looking at it's only people who have money or who look like they have money that you want to relate with, you might be missing the person who have the right potentials or the right network to take you to your next level. Provision is key. How are you going to get it? What would you do to get the provisions you're looking for? What type of provisions are you looking for? Do you understand? Because if you do not understand it, people will command you with this. I learned something recently, some weeks ago. He said, a man who fails to obey himself will be commanded by others. So, self-mastery is key. Do you understand yourself? Do you understand your needs? And do you understand how to pursue your needs? What do I do? What must I do to get what I'm looking for in place? And the other part says, what must I not do? What are the type of provision? What are my wrong assessments or definitions of provision that must be cancelled in 2022 if I want to attain the heights that I want to attain? I've got two more here, but do I have questions? Any questions? So far, any questions? We all look like.
Tonito.
Yes, talk to me.
Are we gonna have? Are you recording the session? Are we gonna have some access to the recording just to recap again?
Yes. Yes, we're recording.
All right, thank you.
All right. Okay. Apart from that, any other question? Sounds like we're all good. So let me take the remaining two sections. Part of it. The next is processes. And processes. Remember, I spoke about plans. So the fact that you wrote a plan doesn't mean the plan took itself. You need to make it happen. You've got to do something. All right. I see someone raise their hand. Okay.
So, as you said that the lens is you need to focus on kind of things that aren't working for you. I just also want to understand with your perspective of, as people, we grow and we're not always going to be the same.
Sure.
What works for us in the beginning of the year is not necessarily what's going to work for us mid-year through the year. Now, once you set this up and you decide that a little bit later, wow, my perspective is not really what I want to be in the long term.
Yeah.
What would your advice be to someone who's realized that I started off this way, but I actually don't want to end off in that way?
Mm-hmm.
What would your advice be to clear the lens and make it a better perspective?
I'm happy for that question. And that's the reason why it's called clarity lens. Adjust it. It's your lens. It's your life. It's your life. I'm sure if I become a pain to Ian today, the next time I come to that gate, it wouldn't open that gate. It's as simple as that. Yes. And when I see the dogs, I wouldn't even come near the street. Do you understand? So it's simple. It does not matter how far you go deep into the year. As long as you wake up to realize Tonito is not the type of value I want around me right now. Adjust. Just adjust. Oh, this trait, this behavior is not what I want around me. Adjust. Adjust. That's the reason you discover that every time a professional photographer comes around you, when he sets the camera, it's constant. You constantly keep hearing. He's constantly adjusting. Why? Because he's looking for picture perfect shot. He needs to capture something that is picture perfect. All right. So sometimes the same person who told you stand this way, by the time he moves his position, he tells you no, turn this way. That's what we must learn to do with our lives. So we get into the year. I'm sure some of us began the year with high energy, high hopes. Now, pressures, bills came to us. If we're not careful, we can succumb to those pressures, or we do what? Adjust and tell the pressure, hey, no, there's a way out. Okay, no. I'm going to tackle this other way. All right? I'm going to tackle this other way. Who else has got a question? All right, so I'm going to move on to the remaining two parts of it. So the next process is like I was discussing. I could have a great plan, but my plan will never happen by itself. The fact that you wrote it down. So allow me to borrow a scripture that says, write the vision down, make it plain, so that he that read it will do what? Run with it. So it's not enough to write or read. You can complete this canvas for all I care. If you don't have a process of action, which I'm sure when Wale comes for his section, it's going to take us through that, because the whole idea of his section is to tell us, do something about it. Start doing something about it. Are you listening to me? So what are the processes that you are going to put in place to making sure that you reach your peak in 2022, to making sure that your life is colorful in 2022, to making sure that your life is beautiful in 2022, to making sure that you reach your goal and attain the heights of what you have dreamed of for 2022. And finally, on this part is protocols. Now, protocols governs all of these things, all of it. All of it. Protocols governs it. Why? Because I just gave an analysis after Nelisi's question that says, when you find yourself that, oh, suddenly I'm in month of April and I'm growing now, I'm getting more clarity. What I thought I wanted, I'm redefining it. I change the protocol around it. When I have the right people in my life, when people behave, and this perspective of protocol happens daily to us. You wake up in the morning with your sweet wife or your sweet husband, and suddenly he or she is moody. If you want to obey, if you want to enjoy life that day, what you need to do is just adjust to the protocol they have created. When you ask, oh, sweetheart, what's going on? And they say nothing, but you understand this nothing could be something and you don't know. My advice is what? Adjust the protocol. Somebody wakes up, they're in a moody state, you adjust the protocol until they are ready. So redefine or adjust the protocol again. So we constantly adjust protocols, all right? We constantly. And why? The reason why protocol is important is that is the only way you will ever gain access to what you're looking for, is your ability to understand the protocol around the people that you relate with, the places you find yourself, the platform given to you, all right, the provision that you have access to, even the protocol around your potentials. A lot of us can do great things. I understood the protocol around my potential. I'm a creative, so I cannot work in a bank specifically, even if you put me in an IT department, because we're constantly doing routine. Maybe the future bank that says developers will become the new bankers. Maybe I might fit into such environment, but sitting on the teller, chasing customers to meet an account, what is it called now? Target? No. So growing up, my parents got jobs, not one, not two. I can't, because I understand the protocol around my potential. It's about thinking, creating, and shaping, pioneering something new, something different. All right? Now, but I also needed to understand that it's not enough to have great ideas. Is it going to make money? Because if it's not going to make money, then I'm just wasting my time. I will grow up to the point I will beg for the bank job. So I understood that. So I started to make sure that I redefine the protocol around what I do. What value are we offering? Is this meeting a pain point? Is this solving marketplace problem? Can people pay for it? Are people willing to pay for it? It's one thing that can they pay? Are they willing to pay? How do I create a convincing model or propelling market product or service that people will pay. I constantly redefine the protocols around my businesses, around myself, around my work. And we all constantly do it every day. You walk into the office today, you greet your colleague, they refuse to answer you. You try again, they refuse to answer. What do? You stop greeting. Some of us who are nice will go the extra mile to ask, what is wrong with you? Because you understand that the protocol around this person is joy, is this person is always happy. And so you find this person in a state of moodiness. You want to understand what has altered the protocol around your life. Now, because if you don't understand protocol, a lot of us will miss out on what makes life beautiful and colorful in 2022. This is a clarity lens canvas. It's a lens, it's your lens, it's your life. I say it again, it's my life, and my life can be colorful, my life can be beautiful. It's my life, and I will live it to the fullest. Now, everything that we have defined as the pivotals are the things that if we do them correctly, if we align them correctly, Wale uses a word, something that aligns into is not poor, right? If you align them correctly, trust me, you'll have a colorful life. You'll have a beautiful life. If you understand what this workshop is about today, we've not come here to tell you you can make it. Like we have a senior pastor who tells us you can make it, I gotta make it. That's not what we're telling you. We're telling you gotta do it. Don't just make it, you gotta do something to making it. You've got to be conscious about the things that you do. So this is how I call my session on a wrap. Because of time, for those who were unable to download this material, I'm going to take our time and email them to you. All right. I'm going to share with everybody. I'm sure some of you got connected to this platform on what's it called? True Friends. Send them this material so you can download it. But most importantly, you're going to find them on the 1va-tech.com/kickstart website, so you can download this particular canvas. Please download them, complete them, print them out, stick them somewhere in the corner of your house. Remind yourself constantly that these are the drivers of the good life you are desiring to live in 2022. And the only way to make that happen is to give it a strong kick of redefining your perspective and your personality, build upon it, have a plan to succeed. Truly plan to succeed. And look inward and understand the potentials that you have. And upskill yourself. Never stop upskilling yourself. I know a lot of us jump into reading and going to school. Read in line with what you want to achieve. Are you listening? I say that again. Read in line with what you want to achieve. And understand that no matter how much of plans and potentials that you have, people enable people to succeed. I am where I am today because of the people that surround my life, and I can become better by also adding more value to people, or we in that network increasing our intrinsic value to each other. And understand that the only way you remain constantly in tune, in sync with people, is having a proper life governing principle that views and shapes the boundaries of how you manage yourself. Places are important where you go to, where you find yourself, and understand that places bet platforms, and what you do with those platforms are important. Facebook is a website, is a place, is also a platform to grow you or to drain you. Remember when I spoke about people, find brainers and not drainers. Remember, provision is important. There's always a way to get around what you need in terms of resources. And build a solid process to success. Build a solid process. Be process driven. It's not enough to be effective. Be